Hi everyone, it's Mike here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So it's time for week 30 over on the Mission Inspiration Facebook group. So let me turn over to my overhead camera. I'll read through the prompt and show you what I'm going to create based on the prompt. So this is the prompt for week 30. As you can see, Illuminate is the prompt. So bask in the radiance of clarity and understanding. Embrace the light that dispels shadows of confusion. Like the sun rising, enlightenment brings warmth to your path. Navigate with insight, for in the glow of awareness, discover the brilliance that transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. Lovely stuff. And the image is of a lamp, which is quite nice. Like that. Okay, so once again, I'm going to be working on this side of the page. Let me just zoom out a little bit. Okay, so I've already kind of planned out what I want to do on the page. When I saw the prompt of Illuminate, I thought of obviously candles, I thought of the sun rising, I thought of lighthouses lighting the way. So that's what I'm going to go with today. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a kind of dark background. Let me just open that up a little bit. That's week 25, so we've done that one. I'm just working on the back side of the page. So I want to do a dark kind of bluey black kind of darkish page. So I've got a colour from IndigoBlu called Sing the Blues. Now, I'm not going to sing, even though I've now got that as an earworm in my head. And I've got some, excuse me, and I've got some black gesso, and it's just to dark down the blue a little bit. So I'm going to add a little bit of black just to create a darker shade. When we add white paint, you create a tone, and when you add black paint, you create a shade. Tones and shades, there you go. So kind of want to create a nighttime scene, or a scene that evokes being dark. So I'll grab a paintbrush, just here off to the side. Give it a quick wash and a clean. I've not gessoed the page or anything, so the paint is just going to soak straight through. So I'm going to take some of the blue to start off with, just from the lid, like that, and I'm going to pick up a tiny amount of the black, like I said, just to create a darker shade of that blue. And I've kind of worked out where I want it to go. And I'm not particularly bothered about it mixing perfectly on the page, and I don't particularly mind if I don't have a perfect horizon line. A bit more black, I think, just to add into there. And I'm just going to go backwards and forwards. It's not very wet, is it? That's probably because it's soaking straight into the page. More blue, touch more black, and then we'll go more blue in there. I always find it interesting, or intriguing if you like, get these ideas in our heads of what we want a page to look like. We have an image of what we want our page to look like in our heads, and it's trying to get that page translated. Do we have it in us to be able to translate the page fully? So I'm just adding in some blue, and then I'm going to do some black. Just drag it vertically. I'm going to be sticking something over the top of this, so most of this you're not actually going to see. Bit more of that blue there. and it will probably darken down. There we go. I think I'm happy with the way that looks there. And I'm hoping the camera can actually pick up and discern those blue tones in there. Yeah, it can a bit, which is great. Okay, so I'll just grab a baby wipe or two. Let's clean that off. That's it. And then using just a little bit of a bigger brush, or should we use the same one? Let's use the same one. Why not? Okay. So what I'm going to try and do now is I can mask off no, I'm not. I'm going to try and do it freehand. What the heck? Let's do it freehand. Alright, let's grab some black paint then. So go down to the line. This is why I'm saying it doesn't really matter if you don't get it exact. So just using the black gesso. Now, like I said, I've kind of mapped out and planned sort of what I wanted to do. But it's whether or not we can translate that into reality. That's another matter altogether. So if you're watching this on Saturday, I'm not actually here. I'm away this weekend. I'm filming this on Thursday, a few days early, because like I said, I'm going away for the weekend, which is going to be nice. Ian and I are going up north to the coast. Ian's got a steampunk weekend in the historic town of Whitby of Dracula fame. For the first time in 3 years, I'm able to go with him because we've got babysitters for the dogs, which is nice. So I could move to a smaller brush, but I'm not bothered about being that exact around this bit. I will move to a smaller brush when I come to paint the bits that are left. There we go. So a mixture of paint and a little bit of collage. Because who doesn't like collage? I'm sure there are some people. Okay, let me give that a quick blast with the heat gun, and I'll wipe down that pot because I'm bound to have got black gesso. Yes, see, I thought that was dry, but actually it wasn't. Let me get this dried off and I'll be right back. Okay, so before we go any further, because this technically is a night sky, what do we need on a night sky? We need stars. So I've got some white gesso that it was an old pot of white gesso. So what I decided to do is I decided to throw a load of water in it and create a permanent pot of splatter paint. And that's exactly what we've got. So I don't want any on the sea down there at the bottom. I don't mind getting any on this section here because you're not going to see it anyway. That'll do nicely. It's one starry night sky. Hey, so let me get that quickly cleaned up. Splatters wiped down, dried off, and then I'll be right back. My little stars have dried now. So I now want to tackle this section here. So I don't have any gold paint at the moment, mainly because Ian's stolen it all. But what I do have is some gilding gum from IndigoBlu, which is a high gloss medium, and I have some Luscious pigment powders in gold, which is exactly what I want. So I'm going to take a brush, just a smallish brush, and I'm going to wet it just with some of the gum. Then I'm going to dip it in the pot, and then I can create my own gold paint. And it is permanent when dry. There we go. And it will also be glossy as well. And that is what I'm going to use to paint inside here. I don't mind if I go a little bit over the line, and I can add multiple coats if I want to. But the shine and the pigment you get from these Luscious powders is really nice. Alright, so excuse me if I go quiet because I'll be concentrating, or trying to concentrate anyway. Like I said, I may end up doing a couple of coats. It does dry, like I said, very, very quickly. And the more pigment you add, the less to the medium, the thicker it becomes. And the more it will cover. But like I said, still maintains that lovely sheen. I'm just having to move it around a little bit so that I don't drag the edge of the page over here into it. There we go. So if you're worried about any pencil marks and cuts, just go over it again and they'll disappear. I'm just going to swirl the brush around. You're not going to see this because there's going to be something stuck over the top, but that's just about right. I'm happy with that. It's not a perfect circle, but, you know, does it matter? No. But let's just see if we can kind of make it a bit more perfect. Alright, so I'll grab a bit more of the gilding gum, a bit more of the pigment powder, go. And then I'm going to fill these two sides in as well. Let the brush guide. Just like cutting in when you're painting a wall. Just let the edge of the brush do its thing. Okay, let's make some more. You really don't need a lot to create your gold paint. Of course, using pigment powders like this, because you've not mixed them in the pot, they're just dry powders. They also don't go off like some paints do. Some paints will separate in the pot and you've got to keep shaking them up like I did with the blue earlier. Look at that shine. Love it. Okay, here we go. Another trick is to roll the brush when you get to the edge. Look at that. And I've just dropped some on there now. And then can I lift a little bit of that while it's still wet? I can go back over it with a little bit of black paint, it's not a problem. We touch it up. Pay it no mind, it is of no consequence. Roll the brush just slightly. There we go. I think that probably will be enough made up there now to be able to fill this area. Just back and forth a couple of times. And if you want, I'll just grab a little bit more. Just go back around that centerpiece again. Like I said, you're not probably going to see it, but this is just for my own, I'll say my own pleasure, but my own satisfaction. I'm happy with that. Right, let's get that brush dropped in some water. I mean, look at that beautiful sheen. Lovely, lovely stuff. Right, let's get this cleaned off, dried up, and then I'll be back. Alright, so that is now dry. So I'm going to bring in my main focal point. So I've been onto my computer and I've searched out images of lighthouses. Couldn't find one that I liked, so I've gone on to one of those artificial intelligence places and created my own. So just going around the outside. I wanted one that was just sitting on a solitary rock. I couldn't find one, so I asked the machine to create one. And I like the traditional style of the red and white stripy ones. This one's got a nice dark shadow to it as well, so which is even better. So I'm just going around the edges of the image. It all makes sense now, doesn't it? I've got a glue stick, so we'll just grab some scratch paper. I managed to get water on the back of this for some how, I don't know, but there we go. These things happen. I think this is nearly dead. Yeah. And that was the last of my Dilutions ones, so I'll have to use one of these cheap ones that I got recently. Okay. And then drop that pretty much into that center location there. Love it. Why aren't you sticking? Maybe it needs a little bit of weight on that just to hold it down for the time being. I don't think even that... I don't even think it's straight. Oh, dear me. Is that better? There we go. This is near as damn it. Okay, so I'm going to just leave that for a second or two just to grab, and then I'll be right back. Give me a chance to finish my coffee as well. That's had a few minutes to dry and grab now. Still loving that gold. Absolutely love it. Right, so I have a quote that I've typed up and printed off on the computer. So I'm just going to give that a quick trim out, as you do. I think, yeah, let's just trim that down quite close. I've printed it in quite a smallish font. I didn't want it to be too big and chunky. And then do the same thing again, just remove as much of that kind of white. I'm not trying to get it as, I'm not trying to get this straight cut, is what I'm trying to say. It's difficult trying to talk and do stuff at the same time, you know, I can't really multitask all that well. And then that one can come down here, I think. I think I need a bit more off that one on the bottom. I'm not happy with it. And seeing as I've only got myself to please, Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do, actually maybe I'll put it there. That's a bit too chunky. I'm just finessing now, or as some people might say, faffing. I'm just faffing with it till I get it happy, till I'm happy with it. Yeah, just taking that little bit off did help. Right, got some distress ink. Just dirty and grunge up the edges, just because that's what we like to do. Okay, so again, so I'm just manoeuvring and auditioning bits just to see where I like it the most. There we go, we have a winner. Right, so let's grab that glue again. Scratch paper, and then lift it up. So I'm just going to get the last, the first letter of the last word lined up on the edge of the lighthouse, and then on this one I'll do it so it's reversed. I know it's only a small and subtle thing, but it's almost like it's a continuation, almost like a ribbon. I like it. I like it a lot. I'm just wondering whether or not I should add some white, just little bits of white down the bottom of the rocks, just to kind of show the water. But no, I don't think I'm going to. I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to faff, and I'm not going to mess with it anymore. I'm actually going to leave that now. I think I am more than happy with the way that's turned out. My vision that I had in my head was something similar to this. So yeah, I'm going to call it a day. So I hope you've enjoyed watching me create this art journal page based on the prompt of Illuminate from the Mission Inspiration Facebook group. If you have enjoyed watching this, please remember to give the video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel already, you can do so by clicking the button at the end of the video. And don't forget, that's the URL on screen for our Mission Inspiration Facebook group. There will be a clickable link below the video if you want to join us and join in with all the weekly art challenges and weekly prompts. So that's all from me for now. I'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye for now. I'd like to say a huge thank you to all of my angels, because without you, these videos would not be possible. And don't forget, you can access your exclusive angel-only content over on my website. There's a link in the description area below. Thank you.